What's shaking, everybody? My name is Ross Mandell. I'm coming to you guys live today from Delray Beach, Florida. I got a real treat. I got a man. He's a myth. He's a legend. He's the real deal. I want to say, hey, Ryan Alford, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm going to try to live up to all of that.
It's going to be, bro, I watched some of your stuff. I became a little bit familiar with who you are and what you've accomplished. And I love it. I'm new on this journey. I'm podcasting for about 1 year. That's it. Influencing, trying to be an educator and influencer, building a media company, etc. All the things that you've done already.
Well, yeah, I tell a lot of people I was an overnight success, 7 years in the making.
I thought it was 5, but okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been podcasting for 7 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think probably what would be allowed to be called legitimate podcasting, like 5. But yeah, all good. Thank you, though.
But you grind. Everything's a grind. I was a Wall Street guy, and I was a legend. But I spent the first year just making 500 calls a day, just opening up accounts, pitching, getting leads. I mean, that's what business is. People don't realize. I don't care what it is, whatever industry you want to be a star. You want to make a living, you got to grind. It's at least a year or two of grind, right? It's just grind, no reward, figuring out how you're going to pay your bills and where's the money, and I don't get it. But, if you can have the right mindset and never quit, you can't fail.
Yeah, and I mean, that's it. Everything, look, I'm still grinding, baby. I mean,
that's it. I see.
It's like every day.
This is going to be like my sex life. It's going to be like 7 minutes. 7 minutes of excitement. So, Ryan Alford, who are you? Greenville, South Carolina. Is that where you're from?
Yeah, born and raised Greenville, South Carolina.
You're a real Southern boy. You're a real Southern boy.
Yeah, I can't get it out of me. I like to say I'm well traveled Southern kid, but
I love that.
I lived in Manhattan for 6 years, so that'll teach you some things.
Yeah, I lived there for like 35. I get it. I get it, the energy. But I understand you have 4 sons now, right?
That's right. And 4 boys under 16.
Under 16, but they were part of this new thing you're doing. What is it, SI Collectibles? Tell us what you're doing right now.
Yeah. I mean, I have a podcast network called the Radcast Network, and we have 40-plus shows. And my show right about now is the #1 marketing and business show on Apple.
Number one.
Number 1, 2+ years.
I want everybody to hear that.
Yeah, it's number 1. We've been number 1 for the rankings kind of fluctuate, but if you look at the week, if you put 2 years of weeks in a row, like we have the most number 1 hits, I guess, so to speak, over that period. And I would say 9 out of 10 days we're ranked number 1 in marketing and business on Apple. And, been a long time coming, but I got approached from some guys that are part of owning the rights to the Sports Illustrated property and are doing some stuff in the collectible space. My 4 sons started collecting about a year ago. I did growing up, but they got into it a little late even for kids, I would say. So we've been having fun for a year. I got approached by some guys and met some guys and made some relationships, and they asked me to start the Collectibles on Sports Illustrated podcast. And episode 1 actually launched yesterday. And we entered the rankings on the sports podcast rankings, the broader sports podcast rankings, at number 4. Number 4.
That's huge, bro. That's huge.
Yeah. So big launch yesterday on that, and having fun, collecting with my kids, teaching them business, and then getting to talk about it like I do everything else.
You're notice being as a marketing genius. That's your specialty, correct?
Yeah. I think I was a natural-born marketer. I'm not a natural-born killer, natural-born marketer. I think that should be my movie as I die. I was kind of born that way. I was, how people go to college and they change majors like 100 times or whatever?
I do.
I did not. I went in as a marketing major, came out as a marketing. I think I went in as a marketing person and came out with a marketing degree. But, I've always been, I think I'm more of a marketer than a sales guy, though. I mean, I can sell. But there's a difference, and I think I understand human behavior. I understand and kind of watch trends. I don't feel like I'm a trend creator. I grab a hold of things that I see gaining traction, and I'm gritty, man. That South Carolina thing is real. Like, we grew up gritty, man. I didn't have shit growing up.
You're gritty.
And And I'm just probably grittier than I look. I will get in the dirt and wallow in it. I mean, in a good way, but like,
I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm a big city boy. I'm a real New York guy, real Wall Street type guy. And you sound like a naive Southern dude, real polite, real gentlemanly. And I looked at your stuff and I'm meeting you now and it's like unreal. There's a real difference between the way you present yourself and the guy that I see that's making shit happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
You know that, Russ.
I do know. There's no easy way. You recognize trends. You recognize them, right? And then you somehow you execute on them. I'm going to tell you, I always thought marketing was a scam. I never understood what the hell marketing was. And even when I was on Wall Street, all these years, I've done over 100 IPOs, taken over 100 companies public, I funded about 1,000, and all these different things. And I still never understood marketing until I've gone into podcasting and influencing and educating, and I realize now it's all marketing.
Yep,
it is. I'm just learning.
But it helps when there's some steak with that sizzle.
Yeah.
I mean, so I try to have both. And there's things I've done, Russ, where I'm like, feels like a lot of sizzle, Ryan, and I'm not sure how much steak we got there. I mean, I'll be honest with myself. But then when I'm really into something, you can bet your bottom dollar that there's real steak there. There's real substance because I'm a practitioner. So I'm not the guy that says, hey, you should spend all your money doing this. No, I've spent my money. I've spent my money so you don't have to waste yours and, on things. And then, it helps to be creative. I'm a writer and, and a strategist built in one. So I think in words, long before AI wrote them for us, I can still write better than AI.
Well, they credit you with this Verizon, this amazing Verizon promotion.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
I want to make sure this is clear. My first campaign that I worked on, and $1 billion probably spent across it, and a lot of people worked on this. It was my probably biggest and first start. Can You Hear Me Now was the first, test man campaign. And I managed a team on the retail side of that, really getting that into the ears and eyes of people across the country when that launched in 2001. And so I definitely played a significant role in that, but hundreds of people played a role in that. But it was my probably sort of, I don't know, come to fame. Not, I guess at least in business world, it kind of springboarded me into other opportunities and working with other brands and different things like that.
Yeah, you get to, string a few winners together. You've worked with big companies like Apple, Google, right? All the big telecoms, et cetera. And then, you made a big name for yourself. That's what my team tells me, and I looked at the research, et cetera. And then you step away and you get into a business that I guess you love, cars, automobiles, A lot of these guys, they just love their cars. I mean, it's wild to me. I was never really a car guy. I always had cool cars because I had money, and I just would buy a Mercedes convertible. And when I was a kid, I had a Camaro in high school, that sort of a thing. But I became a very wealthy guy, and all my guys, my stockbrokers, were driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I bought Austin Martins for my people and all these different things, but I'm not one of those types, but guys like Bradley and other people like that I'm meeting along the way in this journey, really into their cars. And so what happened? The research says you lost $1 million.
It was at least that. I'm transparent about that. Like,
it's good.
I did well in New York. I came back to South Carolina. My time ran out there. I wanted to raise family. I'd gone through a divorce, but wanted to raise my 2 kids in South Carolina and be a part of their lives. And so had this wild hair of following your passion. You know how it is, Russ. Everybody says follow your passion.
Yeah, that's what they do.
I got a counter to that. You follow what you're good at. And let me say this.
That's what I tell everybody.
You get passionate about what you're good at. We all like to win.
That's
and
it.
You get passionate when you see the win stack up. Well, The car business, I was great at the marketing, but I sucked as an operator. And it's a dirty business. And I didn't, to my credit or my fault, I didn't do well in that dirty business. Like that's not how my brain thinks. And it didn't function well as an operator. And so it was a $1 million learning lesson, and quickly did a 180 and said, Ryan, you've been a marketer your entire life. You worked with the largest brands in the world. You worked at other agencies. You know how every agency operates at every level. Why the hell didn't you start your own agency as the thing you start, But
Right.
Hindsight's 2020. So started Radical quickly thereafter, and had my agency, now called the Rad Collective. A lot of kind of brands underneath that, but here in Greenville. And so we've been doing that for about 7-8 years now.
That's really, really great. I've learned from my failures 1,000 times more than I ever learned from my successes. That's me personally. And I find that the men I meet along the way, every one of them is big has had that huge, crash and burn and feel like they're defeated, but only for a moment. And you rise again, better, stronger. And you had a clear vision. Go back to what you know, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, go back to what you know, and then layered in personal branding, podcasting, and my agency has started all kind of at the same time, 7-8 years ago, and have been on this journey. Those three things: the agency, my personal brand.
Yep.
It always is weird to talk about that way, right? It's just, but it is. That's what you call it. Your reputation amplification.
I love it.
That's what I'll call it.
I'm a narcissist, so I'm very, very, happy to talk about myself or listen to you talk about yourself. I believe in personal branding my whole life, but I actually get it, and I read some things that you've said, and
I believe in it. It's just I even cringe a little bit myself. Because I think I'm self-aware, so I know what enough. I really don't care what people think. I just want people to understand what it is versus thinking that it's ego amplification. No, it's reputation, credibility, what you're good at, what you're bad at, amplification. It's magnifying it. It's making it known. Right.
And controlling your own narrative. I think that's a very important aspect because, once you become successful, they start writing about you. The haters come out and the critics and all the people that are too frightened or too weak to get in the ring. They look at the warrior and they have what to say. You know what I mean? And today with social media and all the different platforms like YouTube, Spotify, etc., we can create our own narratives and drown out the nonsense. And that's what I love about what you've been doing. You know what I mean?
I really have done it with blinders. It's funny, both podcasting, the personal branding, all that. I have the people that have influenced me and ideas that come from, I haven't done it all in a vacuum. But I really have. I don't go to all the events. I don't go to all the masterminds. I don't go to the podcasting events. I just keep my head down and do what I know it works. And I'll test it. And if it doesn't work, I'll do something different. And I have great relationships. I do. So it's not that I don't want. I do believe in person stuff and relationships, but I have a pretty tight circle, and I keep it real instead of kind of this inflated high that you get going to these masterminds. That I feel like the pump up journey, and I'm naturally pumped up, man. I'm excited.
Me too. I don't need anybody to get me excited. And I'm. It's funny talking to you because we've never met, we've never spoken, but I'm the same guy. I mean. I've only gone to one event so far. I'm doing this for a year straight. Yeah. I've done 100 podcasts in a year. And,
and I'm not saying don't go to those events.
Right.
I have gone, the few that I've gone to have been very meaningful, very intentional, and very rewarding. It's just, I don't do 14 of them a year.
No,
I do one or two very, so I do believe in that in-person dynamic, and you don't build that relationship unless you get together. But I think I'm moving more towards, there's a guy, he knows who he is. I won't mention his name. I'm going down to Florida, going to play golf with him. I'm going on his show. And I'm doing more of these one-to-one type things to build the relationship more authentically.
I get it.
And spend some time together, commit to time together. You have to make space for these things. And I have very little space because, quite frankly, my wife, my 4 children, and my family come before anything.
Correct.
And then I'm running 4 companies and a podcast and doing 3 shows. There's not a ton of space, but I will carve it out for the right people that I feel like we mutually can help one another.
Yeah, I'm hoping that our relationship at some point goes to another level. I was very, very excited to meet you today. The things that you're accomplishing are things that I'm still looking forward to in this space, in this industry. And I just love it. I love your approach. I see a lot of I see the winning formulas in just the way you present yourself. Family first, tight circle, keep your head down. It's your grind. You don't need a bunch of other people's opinions here and there. It's always nice, but the great thing is, look, we're meeting today, and we're 500 miles apart, whatever it is, and spending a few minutes communicating, and then you have social media. I feel like I spoke to 100 people today. Just because I'm active on social media and I'm making an effort, extending myself, etc., and I'm on the phone. But let me ask you, so
well, I wanted to say something that you just said right there.
Yes.
For anyone listening, like, I don't think people realize the tools that are at our hands.
Correct.
The democratization of reach, influence, and opportunity with social media DMs, with podcasting like this. I mean,
Correct.
I say yes a lot more than I say no to things like this because I want to help and I want, my time is tight. I sometimes have to limit that, but I will always say yes. It just might be yes, but it might be a minute. But I think people just have to really get hold of like what this opportunity is with the internet and social media. I mean, it sounds so weird to say that in 2025, but I don't think people realize it.
Listen, I'm a Wall Street head. People do not get it. It took me a minute. I had to go to federal prison. I was detained I was in the penalty box for a bunch of years. But I'm going to tell you, they don't get it. It's the first time in recorded history, in recorded human history, that we could reach 8 billion people. And you don't need CBS. I don't need NBC. You understand? We have our own networks, our own reach, and a kid in the friggin' Kalahari Desert, if he has an $8 flip cell phone and can find one hotspot somewhere in the desert, he can tune into your podcast or my podcast or hit me up on Instagram, etc. It's never happened before. And it's not regulated, Ryan. See, I spent my whole life in regulated industries, even the marketing business, not regulated, telling you what you can say, what you can't say, how much you can make, how many transactions you can do, all these different things, people looking over my shoulder, and frankly, a bunch of idiots in suits collecting big salaries, because they're connected or whatever. But they tell you what you can do and what you can't do. This is the first time in human history we can communicate with everyone in the world, and nobody's telling you what to say or do.
100%.
It's a beautiful thing, and people don't get it. It's not.
Yeah.
So we're really we're on a hard stop here, and there's not that much time. So I just want to. So this collectibles thing, is this a new big thing in your life? I tell you, I saw Mr. Wonderful today. He was on Fox Business. Him and a group of guys just bought the Michael Jordan card for $13 million.
Yep.
I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, and there's nothing more validating of the timing of what I'm doing than that sale and Mr. Wonderful. I know Mr. Wonderful. He's not a friend, but acquaintance. We've crossed paths just in business,
right?
And knowing more knowing some of the same people than I would say even knowing one another. But all that to say, I know what he's involved in, and obviously most people do, being on television all the time. And when he's buying that card and coming out of it, like right at the timing of when my show's launching.
That's crazy, bro. You can't ask for that. You can't buy what that does for you.
Yeah, well, I'm like, anyone that was going, why is Ryan doing that?
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. Wonderful. Perfect timing. Because this industry is ripe and booming. And there's a lack of sophistication on some levels that is happening. Still,
it's the Wild West. It's the Wild West.
It's still the Wild West, and I've got ideas in both tech and content that I hope will sort of unlock some of that with a lot of the partners. And I get to do it with my kids that are into it.
It's
cool,
and
maybe they'll stay into it, maybe they won't. But I've been doing cool stuff for 5, 6, 7 years, and they could care less. But they got into collectibles, and now, literally, when I get done with you, their idol right now is who I'm interviewing. His name is Kyle. His his AKA, what everyone knows him as, the King of Cards. He's the biggest YouTube star right now, probably in the space.
Wow.
And my kids think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it's like, but it's cool. But it's also, it's big business. Big business.
It's become, listen, there's a girl that's like family to us. She grew up with my daughter. I have 2 daughters. I know her since she's a little kid, since preschool. She's making $1 million a month right now. She's 25. She's in the collectible space. She's making $1 million a month.
She's selling live on like whatnot.
I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna, but I am going to explore and find out. Because listen,
some of my partners with the Sports Card Nonsense Media Network, they're doing live 7 days a week.
Right.
They're clearing. I mean, they're doing 7 figures a month in revenue.
Correct. It's real. This is real business.
No, it's real business.
And you got to be stupid to not recognize that. So we're running out of time today. Is there anything you want to say? What can we expect from Ryan in the next, the near future, next couple of years?
I'm trying to put a lot of effort into being an authentic personality in everything that I do. And I'm a marketer at heart, and I do and can turn on like that, I don't know, DJ, the voice. But I'm trying to really dig into being something and someone that people can relate to as a father, as a husband, and as a positive influence in business and everything that I touch. And I'm into a lot of things, but at its core, it's really about the impact that I can have from the impact that I'm having on my own personal life. And I'm far from perfect, but I'm trying to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and to make it real.
From one authentic guy to another. Ryan, thank you so much for coming today on Going Public. I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you.